welcome to my channel. Today's card features new products from Emily Moore Designs, and right here I am creating a beautiful background using Lindy's Gang Boho Dreams Dreamy Desert Rose. And here is the new Emily Moore Designs, one of them. It's the Lorelei Make a Moth die set. And it is now in the shop, and I have die cut all of my little pieces. I think there are 11 dies in this set. And here I am figuring out how I will place it all together. I have die cut them out of Bristol Smooth cardstock because that takes liquids better. It's not like watercolor paper, so you can't douse it in wet water, but you can use watercolors with it and really well without the paper breaking down. So I am figuring out how I want to compile my two moths, because the set will create two moths, and it has a bunch of little embellishments that you can use to go along with these beautiful moths with their wings outstretched. So I think I have the configuration set. Now I need to color up the pieces, and I am pulling that Boho Dreams Magical Shaker set. There's a set of 5 colors in here, and I will be using the the Dreamy Desert Rose I use for the background, and then for the butterflies themselves I am using Wanderlust Wanderlust Wisteria, Mystic Crystal Teal, and there is another one that I'm using. It is the, let's see, Sandalwood Scents. So that, and what I did is I just shook some of the shaker onto my glass board from glass mat from Glassboard Studios, and then I have a wet brush and I am just dipping it into the dry powder, and this powder is gorgeous. All of Lindy's powders are beautiful. They have really a beautiful shimmer to them. Some of the magical sets do not have mica in them, so they don't shimmer. They're the flat ones, but the ones that I've pulled out, the Boho Dreams, have mica powder in them, so you're going to get gorgeous shine to them, kind of resembling like I don't know, like an iridescent bug. I think, it adds a little bit of shimmer. So, sometimes in the light, some of our insects will have shimmer. So that's why I pulled in some of these gorgeous colors. So here is the Mystic Crystal Teal. And what I like about dipping the brush, the wet brush, into the powder is you can see, it will create sort of different colors. Like right here on the moth's body is a darker blue than on the wings is more of a teal color. So you see those greens, you see those yellows, you see the blues, as opposed to, one solid color. You get all the different colors together. Now, if you want a more solid look, like a one solid color, you can add water to that powder and mix it all together. But I kind of like the look where it's, different shades. It's not one uniform color. So here I am using the Sandalwood Scents and on some of the elements. And again, I'm going to use the Sandalwood Scents, Wanderlust Wisteria, and Mystic Crystal Teal. And so, you're using water, so these will take some time to dry. So once I have completed all of them, then I set them to the side on a little piece of paper towel for them, waiting for them to dry, as I did the background as well. So that background that I created is set aside currently and drying it. And now you could dry them if you don't want to have them dry, just on their own. You could dry them using a heat gun, but be careful with these little guys because they could fly around. So you don't want to lose any of these pieces. So I just set them on a little paper towel, and I did other things. While I was waiting for them to dry. And here are the bodies. I didn't like the bodies that I had created previously with the blue and the wisteria color. So I wanted to do them in that sandalwood scents color. So I just die cut 2 more bodies and, colored them in that more sandalwood color, which I love. And I pull out this too is a Emily Moore Designs. It's the confetti, or no, not confetti, doily shaker card, shaker frame die set. And then I'm only going to use one of the moths. So I've saved all of the other parts of the other moth for a different project. And so I am using Barely Arts glue to adhere everything together. And I love this glue. It dries quickly, it dries clear, and it's just my go-to glue for almost everything. Yeah, not almost everything, everything, unless I have to use a tape, double-sided tape or foam or things like that. So I am just finishing up getting my moth all set. And you can see all of the different, look at how unique that looks. I just love that. All the elements and super shimmery. So there is how I'm going to set it up. I'm going to put the moth there, and I am using some Trinity stamps. The shaker pops are called Iridescent Transparent Pearl, and then I'm also pulling in Stellar Sprinkles clay embellishments. And I will use double-sided tape around the opening on my panel, and just because it will dry quicker than the liquid glue, or not dry quicker. It doesn't have a dry time. It's instant, so it won't shift around. And I use vellum because I just love that soft look. And I think, with the soft pastel background and the pastel not butterfly, moth, that the vellum just lends a real softness to the whole look I am going for. Now, with those shaker pop beads, they are super small. So I am using, double-sided foam tape all around that opening and making sure I leave no gaps for the little shaker bits to sneak out of. And then I am just lining the whole back panel with the double-sided foam. And I got the double-sided foam comes from scrapbook.com, I believe. I will link everything that I use down below. Now, this was a mistake. I put those shaker bits on top, and it's like everything was slipping around. So I have to do things a little bit backwards. So I am using, yes, I also use my Rabbit Hole Designs embossing tool to take some of that stickiness off of around the side of that foam tape, so things don't stick to the sides as much as easily. And then I place all my shaker bits into the well that is created so they don't slip around and slide around. And then I am removing all the backer paper from my foam tape. This pickup stick from Trinity is perfect for removing that double-sided foam tape, because I usually struggle with getting that foam tape taken off, I should say. And then I add a little bit of piece I forgot. So then I add liquid glue to the foam tape, because that allows me, when I put on the back, to slide things around a little bit. And there we go. I put on the back of my card, I adhere my little butterfly on, and that is all. Oh no, that's not all, because I have to put hello on there. So my greeting is, or my sentiment is, the little hello from Emily Moore Designs. It's Hi, Hey, Hello word die set, and it's the small one. So I use the Wisteria, Wanderlust Wisteria on the hello, and again, that is Bristol Smooth cardstock. The only thing that is not Bristol Smooth is, of course, the vellum and the card base. And this is a A2 size, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And that will finish it off. Thanks for watching.